This is Jonathan Kirsten with the Pittsburgh Technology Council and Tech Vibe Radio, bringing you the Tech Vibe Radio one mic stand, where I get to have the best conversations with the coolest companies in Pittsburgh. And today I'm just particularly tickled because I got two companies here that I think are just really defining some of the cool stuff happening in Pittsburgh. We have no stranger to Tech Vibe. We have George Cook from Honeycomb Credit. George, it's so good to see you again.
Great to see you, Jonathan.
And George, as I said before we hit the record button, I'm like, I think this might be the third or fourth time I've talked to you in the past 4 months because Honeycomb's always doing new stuff. And when I heard how you guys are working with Digital Dream Labs here, I got pretty fired up. And I was like, man, I can't wait to have you guys stop by the one mic stands. We have Jacob Hansher here from Digital Dream Labs. Jacob, welcome to the show. This is your first time on Tech Vibe Radio. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start some introductions. Jacob, first and foremost, Digital Dream Labs is one of these companies. I've seen you guys evolve over the years when there's just a few folks back in Alpha Lab putting this thing together to you guys right now just out there kicking butt. What is Digital Dream Labs? Give our listeners and our viewers here just a little taste of what Digital Dream Labs is all about.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for that kind introduction. The main purpose of Digital Dream Labs is to be the fun introduction to any topic. And we're expanding those topics. We started off as a museum display that then, like you mentioned, went into Alpha Lab, and then we shrunk down the product. And then in 2015, we launched a product called Puzzlets, which is tangible learning, teaches coding, math, and we've designed a lot of video games for that platform.
Right.
Then in 2017, we formed a partnership with Wonder Workshop, and we had our board control their robot. And so we had the ability now to remove the screen entirely. And with the screen, the screenless interaction, now early learners or pre-readers can learn how to code with robotics. So then with the success of that, I started thinking, you know what, we should probably do our own robot. And just as I was thinking that, Anki went out of business. And I bid on the assets thinking that there was no way, and there was just no way I was going to get the assets. I just thought, I'll just try. And what ended up happening, it's a very long story, but I ended up being the last man standing, quote unquote.
Wow, it was like a bidding war going on there.
there was, but what happened is that everyone who bid a lot higher than me, they insulted. So the people who were bidding a lot more than me, they said, no, it's not even near enough. And to the point where they actually chased everybody away.
Really? Wow.
I was left with it. Yeah, that's kind of that in a nutshell. So got the assets, we transferred the assets, and when that happened, we rolled everything in and started revamping a lot of things. The robots, there are three major assets inside of Anki: Overdrive, Cosmo, and Vector. So Cosmo and Vector are two robots. Mm-hmm. I can get into more depth if you want to there.
Sure.
The one thing we're really focusing on here with George on Honeycomb is Overdrive. Overdrive, it's another long history, but Overdrive was one of the toughest things to bring back because the prices had eroded on Amazon because they missed the deadline for the Universal launch. So they did a partnership with Fast and the Furious. They missed the deadline, and then at that point, Universal washed their hands. And that was kind of the beginning of the end for Anki from my perspective. And they had this huge amount of inventory and then couldn't move this inventory. So the pricing decreased. So it's still selling, but there's very little inventory left out there of Overdrive. And a lot of the customers that are coming to us, even though we didn't manufacture it, a lot of the customers are saying, hey, could you help us? What's going on here? So we have a little repair center in Alloy 26 in the hardware shop that we're replacing batteries for people, we're fixing their cars. And as we were doing that, we discovered the biggest thing that most people wanted was uninterrupted gameplay. Even when the cars are functioning properly, and even if the game is at, let's say, performing at 100%, regardless, the car, you'll get interrupted after 20 or 30 minutes. You just will. So what we've done is we've built a little clip that goes underneath the track that current customers can use, and they'll put a clip on their car, and now you can race indefinitely. So you plug this clip on. So we call it Infinity, right?
Very cool.
And yeah, so now you can play, because most people when they play games play from an hour to 2 hours.
Huh. So that 20-minute barrier was kind of messing things up and taking the fun out of it, right?
That's exactly it. And it drives parents crazy because they figure, okay, I've set you up. Okay, it's Christmas Day or it's Thanksgiving or whatever. It's a holiday and we're all together. And I thought I was going to have you entertained for about a half an hour or no, for like a couple hours. And here I am constantly having to jump in and reset everything because
20 minutes later, you're nagging me, damn it.
Yeah, so, well, the thing is that the key thing about toys is that you want a high level of interaction. So when you take a look at like online games or you take a look at mobile games, on average, a lot of youngsters they engage about 2 hours. That's kind of like that's the standard. And so you need to be able to hit that standard because that's about the attention span of a child or a teenager playing with an online game. It should be the same thing in real life.
Okay.
So we've solved that problem. In theory, I mean, we've let the track run overnight. We've turned off the lights, come back the next morning, and the cars are still running. So it's constantly charging. So in theory, it goes on forever. The key thing is
until the wheels fall off, right?
Say what?
Until the wheels fall off.
Until the wheels fall off, yes. And actually, we even do that at the repair center. We give you new wheels.
Nice. I want to see this repair center you have going on. I didn't realize there's a repair center in Alloy 26.
Yeah. So in Tower 1, if you go to the basement of Tower 1, they call it the hardware center, and then we're in the back. And we have the track set up, and we have all that stuff. So
when we're back in the offices because we're over in right next to you guys. I cannot wait to see this. I'm just saying.
Yeah, just go past Federal Galley.
Yeah.
Just go downstairs and in Tower 1, and you'll be there. Yeah. So there are millions of customers out there who have this issue, right? So right there, we have an enormous base that we can immediately go to, and we have a waiting list. Just to give you an idea of how popular the repair center is, we have a wait list of 10,000 people.
Oh my goodness, 10,000 people.
10,000 people are waiting and even willing to prepay in order to get their car serviced. That's how much they love this.
Goodness. Jeez.
Yes, that's how much they love this product. So can you imagine, and we have imagined, we studied this, whenever we have the clips come out and have the ability for uninterrupted gameplay, how many orders we're going to get as a result of that.
Oh
so we're ready. We'll be shipping out December 3rd. That's our ship date. So we'll be in time for Christmas. And this is the first step. This is to serve the existing customers that are out there. Then next year we'll have these things built in the tracks so that then moving forward now you can buy Infinitive as a whole set. You don't have to buy the clips.
You don't have to retrofit it. Yeah, it'll just come that way ready to roll.
Right, exactly. So that's it. And so when I talked to the guys over at Honeycomb, I was thinking, it'd be really nice to make this a Pittsburgh deal to keep it local. Pittsburgh loves Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Involve local investors, and then do something a little different this time. So we're kind of capped out with the Reg CF. We did a Republic raise.
Okay.
Worked out really well. We raised more than $1 million. That was very helpful for the company. So with the regulations, we wouldn't be able to get much more from a Reg CF standpoint. So with the Reg D, it allows, as long as you're an accredited investor, you can invest in the company. And I kind of liked it because it's more acts like a bond, right? So you're earning 12% interest. That's, it's basically guaranteed that money's rolling in. You're not taking a huge long shot. Like a lot of people want the upside, but there are a lot of other people, and especially retirees, who just want the steady income. Say, okay, look, I'm going to write this as a note. I'm going to invest in the company, revenue share. So a percentage of our revenue is paying you back. And then of course, the faster we're paying you back, which is kind of my goal, the higher the rate of return.
Exactly. Right. The faster the better rate. Exactly.
Right. So worst case, you're earning 12%. Like if we took a full 5 years to pay you back, but really I'd like to pay everyone back a lot sooner. So it's a nice vehicle. The key thing though is that number one, it's relatively new, so there's a lot of education, and I know George can talk about that. There's a lot of education of how it involves or what's involved, and then the other things, you have to be accredited. So those two barriers kind of make it a little bit more tricky from a raise standpoint. But no, we're seeing good results, and I'm very confident that this campaign will be successful. And then we're launching the product whether it happens or not. That's the other thing I want to say.
Absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
you know, we're full speed ahead, and we're going to have this in time for Christmas.
This is exciting. I just love it when two Pittsburgh companies come together, unique product, unique financing solution. So George, tell us about how this works. And obviously give us a little spin up on Honeycomb, because what you guys do is pretty unique, and maybe not everyone out there knows what Honeycomb does. So give us a little overview of Honeycomb and jump into this really cool way of helping, you know, digital dream labs, you know, raise some money to get this stuff on the market.
Yeah, for sure. So Honeycomb is an investment crowdfunding platform. So we let growing businesses access capital from their own customers and fans and community members. So this obviously has the benefit of unlocking fair capital for businesses that are in growth mode. But at the same time, it's this really exciting way to level up your customers, to not only have them sitting on the sidelines and buying your product and supporting you, but to literally have financial and emotional skin in the game, if you will. While all at the same time creating this whole new investment opportunity for everyday people who want to help out businesses that they love. So that's what we've been doing. And, you know, historically, most of the businesses we've worked with have been Main Street small businesses, you know, folks a little bit more brick and mortar. And when Jacob came to us, we said, oh, this is such an exciting opportunity, because we have a leader in the ed tech community. We have a leader in the Pittsburgh technology community. We know this is something that's going to resonate with you know, everyone that's an Anki follower, everyone that's a Digital Dream Labs follower, everyone that's a Honeycomb follower. And so this is just, you know, so many cool concentric circles that we can kind of put together here, and really prove that, you know, the Honeycomb model can expand into different use cases, into larger deals. And at the same time, as Jacob alluded to, this is the first time we're doing this revenue share note. And this is really exciting because it's sort of a hybrid model. Historically, we've done 3 to 5 year term loans with a fixed interest rate. This is a really exciting way where Jacob and Digital Dream Labs can raise money without necessarily getting more equity dilution, but at the same time giving investors a little bit of that equity upside, because the faster that Digital Dream Labs grows, the higher that rate of return is, as we just talked about. So
it's just such a cool way to do things. I'm like, man, this is like a new way that people can pursue to raise money for their company now. Like, I just think it's just such a cool thing.
Yeah, we're super excited about it.
And so how long did it take to set this thing up and get it out and rolling? Was it a complicated thing to get up and going? I mean, obviously it's just something new that Honeycomb has done, which I think is just amazing, because I think during this pandemic, you guys have spun up so many new ways to help companies raise the capital that they need. Everything from the gift card angle of things. I mean, it's just been amazing to watch these new products come out from you guys.
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting, kind of coming into COVID. In many ways, we kind of flexed downstream a little bit, right? We realized that a lot of businesses were battening down the hatches. We're trying to get some capital to weather the storm. And then in the past 8 weeks or so, we're really starting to see really exciting growth opportunities again. We're seeing businesses that are back out in the market, and aggressively growing. And that's kind of right when Jacob came to us, had this really exciting proposition, and you know, kind of fully in growth mode. And for us, we said, okay, now we're seeing the pendulum swing back the other way. And I think Jacob, probably from first conversation to the campaign being live, was probably about a month. We were able to move pretty quickly, get everything set up, and kind of get everything buttoned up and put together pretty fast.
Very cool. And so Jacob, how did you link up with Honeycomb? How did you know those guys are out there and thought this would be a cool project to explore with Honeycomb?
It's a good question. I've seen them a number of times in a number of places. It just never seemed like there was a fit. Then I actually don't remember whether, I think I reached out to them and then they got back to me and I said, hey, I'm interested in taking a look at other crowd raising things that you're working on. And then they suggested this Reg D avenue. I think that's kind of how it all came together.
Okay.
Yeah, and like George said, you know, this is not our first rodeo when it comes to crowdfunding. We've done a successful Kickstarter and we've done a successful Republic raise now, and we have a film crew on standby, and we all know what we're doing at this point.
Yeah.
So we were able to put it together and wrap it up, I think, in under a month.
That is just so interesting to me. I absolutely love it. I just love it when these things kind of come together. So at the end of the day, can people still invest right now? Like, can people go to Honeycomb Credit and search for Digital Dream Labs and then lock in on this thing?
Yeah, 100%. The campaign is up and running right now. honeycombcredit.com/DDL.
Okay.
And you'll find the campaign there.
Very cool. And is there like a minimum barrier to entry to be part of the action on this?
So as Jacob alluded to, this is the first Regulation D campaign, and kind of all the legalese aside, what that means is that this is the first campaign that's a little bit more exclusive. It's for accredited investors only.
Okay.
And therefore, the minimum investment's $1,000.
Gotcha.
So still pretty accessible. Very excited to have folks come and check out the campaign page.
Very cool. And so, George, now that you guys have kind of spun this up for the first time, this is one more thing you can now offer to people in the community. And especially now, I think we're seeing the businesses, you see the pendulum is swinging back. And it's these smaller businesses that have been impacted the most, it feels like to me. And now know that they have these types of solutions at Honeycomb. I think it's just really powerful stuff. Anything else new that you guys are working on? I mean, I'm assuming you guys are always turning over every stone to find a way to help a small business.
Yeah, I think this is giving us confidence to look at other types of financing options. This revenue share is something that is really interesting to us. There's a little bit of education there. People aren't used to seeing a revenue share note. And so we're getting feedback from our investors. We're learning from it. And we're going to keep innovating and coming up with cool ways to get capital to exciting, growing small businesses.
I love it, man. Just finding the intricate ways around stuff in order to make stuff happen. And especially for a cool thing like what Digital Dream Labs is doing. I know that December 3rd, like, stuff's shipping, man. That's pretty exciting, Jacob. I'm really pumped for you guys.
Yeah, thanks. It's going to change the way people think about like stock car racing. I'm confident, and that at a certain point, then you can extend this to other toys. And the ideas of having to change the batteries and to go all over again, or whatever, the toy breaks down. Everyone's going to have this this tech in their devices, and so you'll be able to have uninterrupted gameplay in real life now,
right? Versus
just on the screen.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I can't be more impressed. You have a repair shop with a 10,000 car queue waiting for battery packs and tires. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we get a shipment actually of 50,000 tires today.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's a lot of cardboard boxes coming your way.
It's one gigantic one with a huge bag, essentially.
Oh my goodness. It's just full little tires.
Yeah, full of tiny little tires.
Okay, take some pictures of that and throw it up on your social channel because I want to check that out, man.
You know what? That's a really good idea. I'll do it. Yeah, it's one of so in restoring all the manufacturing from Anki, we've gone one mold at a time.
Okay.
And soon we're going to have the cubes next for Vector and Cosmo, and step by step we are slowly making everything that they made. We did some redesigns and things like that, and essentially started from scratch, which is one of the reasons why it's taken us a little bit longer than you'd think to come back onto the market. But these improvements, people are just going to love them. But yeah, tires are first.
It's where the rubber meets the road, man. Simple as that.
Literally, literally.
I couldn't resist. I had to say that. There was
I felt it coming.
It was coming, dude. It was there. Oh my goodness. What a joy talking to you guys today. So much fun knowing that Digital Dream Labs and Honeycomb Credit coming together to make some really cool stuff happen. George and Jacob, you guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out with me on the One Mic Stand with Huntington Bank. Just love it.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Yep.